Hopefully you saw the community post that the producer put out. Yes, that's me on that dolphin. It is hump day. SFMF Live, here we go. Roll call. We haven't taken a roll call in a while, and I know I missed a couple people last time. I'm probably going to miss a lot always. That's where you guys come in and help me out. Today's topics, we're going to discuss a little bit about the three parts, really, of the main show. And I left those of you that were here Sunday, we ran out of time. It was good. It was a good show. We were going for a long time. I even went over my time limit. The buzzer was buzzing. The mission and vision of SFMF. We're going to talk about it briefly, and I'm going to save it to the end again. But the three portions that this channel is really all about, and this is the producers came to light. What we talk about is just like who our audience is. We have pre-boot camp or pre-service, we have active duty service, and we have post-service. So those are the areas that we always end up talking about because that's who's in our group. That's the community of warriors, like-minded warriors that we have. And it's pretty awesome. So sticking to that same theme, that's what we're going to roll with today. Low on volume? So I get to talk normal? No. All right, so that's the theme that we're going to be sticking to. And yes, as you can see, a new mic. So,
he said it's low on volume.
Low on volume. I can't see or hear anybody. What do you want, earbuds? All right, three themes. Before we do that, again, roll call. Who's here? Try what? Put it on. All right, 5 by 5, check mic, check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3. Don't make me start singing. We got sound. Can you see anybody? Comments, we good? All right. Here we go.
Oh, wow, it's really loud.
It's really loud? Too loud? Do I have to talk softly? Can't do it. Can't do it for very long. All right, roll call. If you haven't started already, I can't see the comments, so hopefully you guys are all chiming in. Who's there? I know we missed a couple last week. John McJunkin. Has anybody heard from him, and how's he doing? John McJunkin's team. If you're there, let us know. Let us know how John's doing. And every week we do have some new subscribers, new viewers, new community members, and it's up to all of us to keep them and have them pass it on, tell a friend, talk about the stuff that we talk about. And it's one group. I don't know which group would be bigger than the rest. I think maybe active duty is our smallest, and here's why. Just like those of you that have been active duty, you can remember what your life is like when you're active duty. And that's right here. You got blinders on, and that's the only thing you got going on is what's directly in front of you. Your next mission, your next PCS, your next schooling that you're going to, your next whatever, next unit leaders or commanders. All that is directly in front of you, and that's what happens every single day, all day. So that's what you have on your mind 90% of the time. And those of you with families, you got to try and balance both of those. So when you're not focusing on the mission, you're focusing on your family. So again, a couple of different categories. All of it?
Just put that one on, please.
Check mic.
I know, that's your favorite part. Might have to just go with the AirPods.
Are we still live? Might have to go with the AirPods. That's weird. All right. Are we still live? Is anybody here? Yeah, nothing's on, so I can't see. But that's all right. I'm just going to go.
You're still.
And if you are still with me, I promise you it'll get better. Okay, first theme, boot camp. And boot camp stories are great, and we say it all the time. You can tell as anybody. You can describe every single minute of every single day of the 3 months of boot camp, but until you go, you're not going to get the full feel of it. Sound, check, mic, video. I got like 8 microphones on, wires all over the place. We're talking about the purpose. First and foremost, the purpose that you join. Everyone joins for different reasons. I didn't know that before I went, and I thought everyone joined for the same reason. But here's how you got to look at it too. It's by generations, right?
Your mic's saying you can't hear anything. Some people are saying the sound is on.
All right, sound check, mic 1, 2. What do we do? All right, here we go.
Adam, you said that the sound is bad.
Third one, old faithful right here. We'll continue. Take all this stuff off, like leaving the show, taking all this stuff off. Taking my ball and going home. Like, no, it's still, what do you hide everything on me?
I quit.
All right. Looking for a new producer. Just kidding.
I'm not.
All right, 3 categories: boot camp, active duty, and transition from active duty to the civilian community. That's what we're talking about. Those are the areas that's our audience right there. So first and foremost, you got to have a purpose. Why did you join whatever branch that you joined? Or for our Patriots out there, why did you not join? So again, the purpose. And you'll see a theme of the purpose throughout all of our shows. It's got to be a purpose. And the biggest one you'll see is at the very end once you get out. Okay, so I'm not going to ask, or you can tell each other why you joined, right? How about the go to war or go to jail members that joined? And that was probably 60s and 70s and maybe part of the 80s, right? Maybe early 80s. Maybe someone got a whole lot of traffic tickets that he had to do some jail time or pay a hefty fine or go to boot camp. That may have happened to someone. And I think that's pretty normal. It's also pretty normal for someone back then in the 70s and 80s, someone to join just America, want to join to defend my country. A big lot of service members join because they don't have anything else to do. They don't want to continue school. They don't want to go to college, or they can't afford college, or it just was never in their preview. Again, another great opportunity. That's those decades pass. As time progressed, society progressed, it turned into the WIIFM. Who knows what the WIIFM is? WIIFM. What's in it for me? Today's society is more of that. What's in it for me? Why should I join the military? What's it going to do for me, whether I do 4 years or an entire career? What's it in it for me? And remember Kennedy's statement, ask not what you can do for your country. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Kind of along those same lines. And you got to wonder, have we lost that? Here's the answer, no. Because some still today, how about the 9/11 crew? Those of you out there that joined after 9/11 because of 9/11. So, do we still have some warriors who joined for that particular reason to defend their country? 100%. Recruiting was real low the last 4 years or so, right? And it's back up already. So not only does society help or hinder that, so does things like the administration. What's going on in America right now or in the past. So all those things factor into, should I serve or not? So our younger crowd out there, That's what you got to look at when you ask someone, should I just join the military, or should I join the military and which branch? That's when you have to look at the what's in it for me, the WIIFM. What is in it for you? Why do you want to join? What is your purpose? You hear a lot of, I just joined to get to college, which absolutely you can. I just joined for the benefits. Again, another great reason. I joined to travel around the world. All those are purposes to join the service. And I don't want to give too much away now about the transition, but retirement is another good reason why people join. Those of you that think about it when you're 15, 16, and 17, 18 prior to joining. So that's also a good reason. And that's my point. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I don't think, at least I know I wasn't thinking about my future. Retirement, spend 20 years in the Marine Corps? Are you kidding me? No way. When you're in high school seems like a lifetime. It's 4 years. It's nothing. It's that much of your life after, once you leave it. I don't necessarily miss high school, and maybe a couple of years immediately after. I don't know. Maybe some of you did, some of you do, but it's such a short portion of your life. While you're there, you have to prepare for all those things. That defines your purpose. So if it is to retire, get a second career, a great job, you want the big house on the hill, the cars, and the family, 3.5 kids, white picket fence, whatever you're planning on doing, it is not too early to start prior to boot camp. We always talk about, what do I got to do to get ready for boot camp? All those things are important as well. Physical fitness, mental toughness, study, whatever branch of service that you're joining. All those things 100% are going to help you do better in boot camp. But you got to think beyond boot camp. You can make it. The drill instructors, the drill sergeants, the TIs, whatever they're called in the other services, they are going to help you succeed. They're going to help you through boot camp. As long as you're willing to give your very best and never quit or give up, they're going to make you a Marine or that branch of service that you chose. How you do your part is, where's Hot Rod? Is he on here yet? Move fast and yell loud all the time. That's going to help you succeed in boot camp. Now, if boot camp is a struggle for you, you didn't prepare. Physical fitness, mental toughness, study. That's the only difference between the two. The one that graduates as a company honor man and the one who graduates and the drill instructor says, who the hell are you? Or you're always in trouble, or you get dropped because you failed something, rifle, swim, some portion of failure to adapt. We don't talk about that too much. That's going to be the difference on how you graduate boot camp. Again, they're going to provide everything for you to graduate. It's up to you. It's your purpose, your WIIFM, and what you plan on doing after. Because remember, you're going to be in training for about a year. So the more you can learn from everyone prior to going, those you youngsters on the channel now, prior to going, while you're in boot camp, and while you're throughout that training period, you always have to continuously prep for the next step of your life. One duty station, 4 years. You're going to go to typically one duty station in 4 years. Boot camp, SOI or MCT, School of Infantry or Marine Combat Training, depending on your MOS, and then your MOS school, whether it be School of Infantry or Combat Engineer, whatever your MOS is. First year's training. Is it too early to start then to start saving money? Start going to school? Nope, and nope. All those things you can start preparing for then. Primary reason for the show is so you don't learn the hard way. You don't spend 6 months on your first duty station hating the Corps, going out every night. You're finally on your own, spending all your money because you have no one to tell you no. What you do have is plenty of mentors that can guide you in the right direction. So seek those mentors and listen to them. I'm not telling you by all means. I'm not telling you not to enjoy yourself and go out with your buddies. You're going to have instant platoon of friends. So definitely find the right ones, find the good ones who have that, are already goal oriented. Hang out with them. Figure out which ones which ones are going to help you succeed, and then continue to stay with them while you're looking at the end of your training pike. You're looking at your first duty station dream sheet. Right? It is a dream sheet where you want to go. Here's another big mistake I think young Marines make. A lot of Marines want to get stationed near home. Right? I'm from wherever, Temecula. Hope I get Camp Pendleton so I'm near home. I'm not sure that's a great decision. I did the same thing. Right? And luckily, I didn't get near home. There wasn't any, 8 hours was the closest to my home. But luckily, the Marine Corps thought otherwise and went completely the other direction and sent me across the Pacific Ocean to Okinawa, first duty station. Best thing that could have happened to me. Because what you'll find out, those of you that graduate boot camp and go right back home to celebrate with all your friends from back home, is something changed. My friends are still doing the exact same thing they did when we were in high school. Kind of boring now. I think it's 18 days leave. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Do you get 10 days leave or 18 days? I think when I graduated boot camp, it was 18 days leave. Couldn't wait to get home to party with my friends. For about a couple of days, I was like, not for me anymore. I changed. You changed. You absolutely have a different outlook on life. Already starting at such a young age, 18 minimum, some 17, some 18. Those of you that joined later, you already know. You know that there's nothing going on back there. So you know for a fact that home is a place to go for a holiday every now and then, right? See your parents, family, and friends. But you've already established a higher purpose, right? You have a better WIIFM, what's in it for me. And it's going to be finish my 4 years strong, learn everything I can about the MOS that I'm in, the duty station, the geographic location that I'm in, 100% take advantage of everything. And then decide if it's for you or not. Just like we talked about last Sunday, though, don't judge the entire Marine Corps off your first duty station. Let me say that again. Don't judge the entire Marine Corps off your first duty station. It's not the Marine Corps. Even the very best unit, if you go to the best unit, you have the best leadership, you have leaders that care, they're passionate, they want nothing but to take care of you and the mission, and they're doing both perfectly. That's still not the Marine Corps. You're going to come across bad leaders throughout your Marine Corps career, all services. There's good, there's bad. Learn from the good, but you learn even more from the bad ones. Hard to think about and hard to take. You don't want to pay attention to those. You just want those bad ones to go away, and they will, right? And I believe in karma. It's going to come around and get those leaders, because here's the thing. Here's the real life lesson: is they're going to be around your entire life. So how you deal with those bad leaders, poor leadership, is going to be directly a reflection on yourself. So you can't always change them, but you can change how you react to them, right? Hold them accountable. Everybody's heard the most important leadership trait to me: injustice. I learned that from someone real smart in this room right here. Injustice, and that's poor leadership when they don't get held accountable, when they don't hold themselves accountable. All right, that's leadership. We're going to talk about that later. So, boot camp, why did you join? What do you want to get out of it? And what's your purpose once you leave boot camp? Those are the things you also have to be thinking about. How to prepare for boot camp. You already know, especially if it's a Marine Corps, you know you have to be physically fit. You know you have to be mentally tough. It's going to be a culture shock from you know where that you are not prepared for. As many stories as you hear, as many videos as you watch, until that's you standing there being screamed at by 3 or 4 drill instructors for doing absolutely nothing wrong. That's when you feel it. That's when you make that decision in your mind. Granted, it takes a couple of days. That all right, I got this. They're not going to stop me. Another buddy, Lake Cookie, might remember him, Rhodes. He used to always say when he would get his butt chewed, and he got in trouble quite a bit, and he'd get thrashed. I'm talking digging 60 pits, old school thrashing, not just a chart sheet. 60 pit, dig it, fill it back in, 1,000 sandbags, empty them back out. That kind of discipline. He'd say it every time. They ain't breaking me, they're making me, right? Making me the man that he turned out to be. So how you look at it and how you judge those lessons is going to help you succeed. That's in essence boot camp. Okay? Again, talk all day about physically fit first, and that is the first thing anyone when they ask me, I want to go to Marine Corps boot camp. How do I prepare? Physically fit. Start running. Start doing pull-ups. Running, pull-ups, and now planks. Right? Planks is new, fairly new. Start doing those 3 things. That'll be one less thing you got to worry about while you're in boot camp. And then the knowledge part. Again, I can't stress it enough. When my daughter went, I knew better, so I had her studying the general orders, code of conduct, rank structure. She was in JRTC, so she pretty much knew all that already. But those are the things that will be one less thing you have to worry about when you get there, so you can focus on after boot camp. Just like they say on active duty, you should start thinking about 2 ranks ahead of what you already are. I like that, but 1 rank ahead, I think, is more realistic, right? As a corporal, you can't think about being a staff sergeant. You're not even a good corporal yet. So 1 rank above, I think, is fair, but do that in boot camp. Once you figure it out, boot camp, and you'll figure it out quickly. A couple of weeks, maybe a month. Some people take longer than others. We got some rocks in the Marine Corps, but they figure it out. That's when they start looking past graduation. That's the good ones. That's the ones that succeed quickly. Talked about the new order, how it's going to take you have to be in 4 years before you're eligible for promotion to sergeant. Do all that. If you are one of those ones and you don't have the opportunity for a meritorious promotion board, then do everything so on your exact 4-year mark day, eligible. Next day, promoted. I don't think it happens that fast, but you need to be prepared for it. So those of you out there wondering what boot camp's going to be like, again, all day, everyone in the stream here would love to tell you boot camp stories. Love talking about boot camp. And there's some funny stories, but there's also some, hey, get it together now and start preparing for after boot camp. Social media, huge help to help you prepare. I believe it. Again, talk to the 80s and older, right? 90s and older. They didn't have the social media. They didn't have
1990s or the 90-year-olds?
the 1990s and prior to the 90s, right? When did social media come? I don't even know. But now that's what a teenager will do. Just Marine Corps boot camp, Air Force camp, whatever you're getting ready to go to, you can YouTube it specifically. First day, second day, go on a channel like this and ask somebody, what's the first 24 hours like? So you're much more informed going. So as a drill instructor, I got to think, okay, the 89 recruits right here, growing up in the 2000s, they're in boot camp now. They're born in what 2006, 7, 8. They've been around. So they were born with social media, right? Most of them with phones. So you shouldn't find drill instructors today shouldn't find kids that don't know what a sergeant is, what a drill instructor is, what some of the lingo is. That's again half the battle. Can you imagine in the 60s and 70s or even way before that? Got to teach them everything. What drill instructors struggle with now is not social media, right? Teenagers can't talk to people, they can't write, they can't spell because of social media and texting. And if they can't text it, if there's not an app for it, they have a little problem with it. That's part of the challenge now of today's Marines, today's recruits, any branch of service. So back up, those of you prior to going in, the easy part, we'll call it the easy part, physical fitness, mental toughness, knowledge of that service, those are easy now. Now you got to start thinking about post boot camp, active duty, the FMF, the Fleet Marine Force. Once you're out of the training pipeline, right? That's what they call it, the training pipeline. And I didn't think about this going through boot camp. One that I was paying for everything they gave me, all my uniforms and all that. That it costs a lot of money to put a Marine through a recruit through the entire training pipeline. So the Marine Corps' job, once you get to the FMF, to the fleet, is to ensure you make it to your enlistment. You make it through your entire enlistment. And I don't know what the percentages are or is, but there's a very high percentage that don't make it to their EAS. Imagine that. All that work you did prior to going to boot camp, surviving boot camp and the training pipeline, getting into the fleet and make a mistake, right? So habits you have now, particularly bad habits that you've grown up with, you got to decide when to ditch those bad habits, because just 3 months of boot camp is not going to completely stop it. We'd like to believe it, right? Drill instructors tore you down and built you up. The recruiter prepped you as much as he or she possibly could. But that's the thing about going back home, getting back into the swing of things, getting stationed near your home. I got to tell you, I firmly believe, convince me otherwise, that is not a good decision. Unless that was your goal, right? Enlist, make it through boot camp, the training pipeline, and go back home. So, and there are legit reasons to help take care of my family, right? I met Marines my first year in Okinawa, saying this guy was always broke. He was sending every single paycheck home. He didn't need any money. 3 hots and a cot, chow hall 3 times a day, had room and board, PT, all his uniforms. Every now and then, our uniform allowance once a year. He was, I thought he was just cheap, tight with his money, because we saw him never go out nor spend money. When we go get fast food, he wouldn't go, because everything was provided for him. He was sending money home. Got it. Noble cause. But then you get the ones that are messing up in the Marine Corps and just want to get out so they can go back home and help. Look at it this way. How much help are you going to be if you get kicked out of the Marine Corps? Yeah, you'll be home, but you're going to find a job that's not going to take care of you like the military, and then still try to provide. Wouldn't your level of help be much greater if you've, again, at least completed your first 4 years, worked on your education, got a degree in those 4 years, and then got that killer job that you so rightly deserve, or even a career, make 20 years out of it and get all the numerous benefits that we'll talk about here in a little bit after you've gotten out. So a whole lot to think about, right? We talk about the cool stuff, the fun stuff, the motivation stuff, the PT, the funny stories, but you got to think about the bigger picture. And that's what I remember hearing, that today's Marines are smarter. Again, not smarter. I don't think they're any smarter than they were back then. The society's different. The information, right? Instant gratification, social media. You want to know something, it happens all the time. And we joke and we say, I wonder what is the number here, or what's the amount of people, or where was that one place we went to? We always joke and say, if we only had a device in our pocket that we could look it up, boom, seconds later, right? How many times, Jared and the older crew, you ask a teacher how to spell something until you look it up. Right? Now you just type it in your phone, instant. You don't have to think about it, autocorrect. About that when you're doing autocorrect and there's no, it doesn't give you a suggestion because you ain't even close. All those things have changed society. So you have to adapt with it. Us older generation have to adapt with it. That's a problem we'll talk about later, transitioning out to the civilian community. Some people stay in a job so long they don't adapt. And that's what causes that organization to fail because they haven't adapted with society. You got to. You're going to be left in the dust, right? Still to this day, I don't know if I can say I'm a hut and pecker when I type. I only use about 6 fingers. I can jam on it just because I've been doing it so long, but in high school, I didn't think typing was important. Remember the old typewriters? Zing. I never learned it because I'm going to be a Marine. I don't need that until I went to school, until everyone else was jamming, typing stuff out, till computers did enter the Marine Corps or into society. I was that one guy. I started out with 2 fingers and then moved to 3. And now I'm okay, but a huge regret that I didn't learn how to type. I got to look at it. Typing class, I used to peel the little stickers off to show me what letters they were. Huge mistake. Got over though, right? Got over on somebody, myself. So lessons that teachers, adults, drill instructors, Marines, mentors, they tell you for a reason. All right. That's to our younger crowd. I hope you take note, you heed to some of the stuff that, again, and this is the best community right here to discuss that, to ask those questions, to find out how can I make my training pipeline easier? How can I make my first 4 years better? It's here. But we're giving you the answers to the test. Basis for this channel, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. All right. That was the opener. Boot camp. Welcome once again, everybody. Anyone headed to boot camp? How about that? Producer's going to look for you as you're typing that in. Let us know who's heading to boot camp. And almost every show, it seems like we have someone shipping out pretty soon. Love to hear those. Those really do excite me. I think we all probably feel the same way. Those active duty guys, we're at Gunny East. He likes to see those men and women in here because that's one, right? You start them early, right? If you can get your hands on them early, best way to go through it. I saw a big orange flash, Doc Holliday, Semper Fi brother. Not only is Doc uber generous, he received his Semper Fi, my friend, plaque from ANC. No? Oh. It's Ray. Ray from Queens. Received his. Yes. Awesome. Received it. ANC medal. You can see behind me? I can't see behind me. So preparing them. Again, all you active duty members, I may have told this story before, but as a drone instructor, finally, when I made a senior drone instructor, I used to go talk to the recruits in receiving barracks the day before Black Friday. You remember Black Friday? That's the day that receiving barracks drops your platoon to you. You've seen the videos, right? Drone instructor, the senior comes out. My name is Senior Drone Instructor Sergeant Cece. I am your senior drone instructor. That's a rehearsed speech. Every senior says it when they pick up a new cycle. Pretty intense. I'm assisted my duties by, boom, the drone instructors come out, boom, boom, and they're giants. You're looking up at them, your right hand, right knee, left hand, left knee. You're sitting Indian style, cross leg in the classroom, and you're just waiting to be thrashed. As a recruit, I have no idea what they said. As a drone instructor and everyone watching behind you, pretty intense, you know exactly what they're saying. But when they release the hounds, right, when the drone instructor says, the senior drone instructor says, drone instructors, take these recruits and train them to be United States Marines. They say, aye, senior drone instructor. Boom, the bomb drops. It's Black Friday. Prior to that day, I'd go to the receiving barracks as a senior drill instructor, get my platoon, and the receiving drill instructors, they let me in there just to give me 5 minutes, let me talk to those guys. And I would talk to them. I said, hey, tomorrow is Black Friday. I'm sure you've heard about it by now. It's going to be chaos. Hot Rod says it. Move fast, sound off loud as you possibly can. You'll be okay. But I would tell them things like, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get yelled at. You're going to get thrashed. You're going to be moving quickly. You're already tired, hungry, and thirsty. That's going to be the first week. Get used to it, right? Today's generation doesn't like to hear, suck it up. But you got to suck it up and keep moving. That's going to make that first week that much better for you. The culture shock happens at receiving barracks. Receiving barracks is a lot different than today than it was back then. I'm sure the older generation has some crazy stories about receiving barracks. Now it's toned down and it's more administrative, still stressful, still intense compared to all the other services. So you're still going through that culture shock, especially if you came in late, one of them late flights. You're going to catch the tail end of it when everyone already they know their left from right already, and they know not to make eye contact and not to piss anyone off. So I tell my newly formed platoon of Brussels sprout heads, this is what we're getting ready to do. The drill instructor is going to talk to you. He's going to move you. He's going to yell at you. You're never going to move fast enough. You're never going to sound off loud enough. Suck it up. Any questions? And of course, none of them ever had any questions. Eyes wide. They're still in that culture shock. San Diego's still watching the planes take off, wishing they're on one of them. But once you get that mindset, I'm going to do this. Right? The best part of the senior drill instructor speech is, as long as you never quit or give up, we're going to train you to become United States Marines. Never. And you can't look back. You can't turn back. You have no time, no energy to miss home the first couple of weeks. After a while, once you start receiving mail, then you're going to get a little bit homesick, but tomorrow's going to be another intense day. And you just push through. Next thing you know, like high school of 4 years goes by quick. Boot camp goes by quick. So you got it. Move on. Keep fighting. Suck it up, buttercup. Mm-hmm. All right. That's boot camp. In a nutshell, maybe a little more. What about it? Oh, yes. Leadership. Oh, yeah. Got a story about Safe Flight I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And the theme of that one is cost of leadership. Cost of customers. And it's all about leadership. So then once you pass the training pipeline and you're in it, comes active duty, right? I'll beat that dead horse just one more time. Don't judge the Marine Corps off your first duty station. Don't judge it off your first squad leader, platoon sergeant, platoon commander, company commander. Don't judge it off those first leaders. If it's good, you're lucky. I think I was spoiled. I don't remember very many bad leaders. That happened later once I transitioned out. But take advantage of those and all the things we talk about while you're on active duty. Thinking about one rank ahead. Volunteering, yes. I did a short on volunteering. You volunteer for everything, right? It depends on what your unit and what you're volunteering for. Even that working party. Yes, you're going to you need to do as much as you possibly can do while you're on active duty. You don't want to have any regrets when you get out. And it happens whether you do 4 years or 30 years, 30 plus years, still have regrets. I told you mine, I think, a couple of times. I wish I would have done MSG. Wish I would have done a tour on the East Coast. Little things, but do them while you have the opportunity. Don't let a duty station go by 3 years, leave that place where you complained about it the entire time you were there because you had a couple bad leaders or bad incidences, and then again judge the entire Marine Corps off it and say the Corps sucks. No, it's not. It's the same Marine Corps for everybody. Same Marine Corps for that meritorious PFC Lance Corporal, Corporal, or Sergeant. He's in the same exact Marine Corps as you. So if you have those problems, those issues, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, is it me? Marine Corps has been successful for nearly 250 years. I think we know what we're doing. So what is your purpose? What's your purpose while on active duty? How far do you want to go? What are the places you want to go to? What are the schools you want to go to? You're not going to get everything that you hope for. All those are called a dream sheet, right? You're gonna go where the Marine Corps needs you, needs of the Corps. But what I will say on that is you can be proactive and aggressive and get just about every single duty station you ask for. We did, but you have to do your homework. You have to look at Hawaii. When I got to Hawaii the first time, I was a corporal, and that's what I asked the monitor, can you send me to Hawaii? I don't really want to go there. I don't need no corporals over there. Once he said that, he get out of here. Once he said that, I was like, how do I find out who they need over there? The needs of the Marine Corps. That's when I got introduced to that. What are the needs of the Marine Corps? And you get online now, that you can get online, you pretty much call, everyone's got an open door policy. Find out who needs a corporal over 4 years, 2 years time of grade, whatever your situation is, your MOS, right? Getting ready to pick up sergeant, right? Close to the cutting score. And then you get in touch with that unit, your monitor. Those you don't know, monitor is the one who places you where the Marine Corps needs you. So you do all that work for the monitor, and he'll look at his thing, right? You're a corporal over 4 years, married, 1 kid, combat engineer. Wow, yeah, I actually do have a spot in Hawaii for you. When can you go? You've done all this work for you. If on the other side you call him and say, and I've never been a monitor, I know that's some tough work, but you got a guy that calls you, yeah, I want to go to Hawaii. Well, let me see he's going to have to ask you all those questions and he'll get back to you. But you provide all that for him or her, whoever your monitor is. And I can't guarantee you, but I want to believe that they're going to you've done all the work for them. Here you go. You report in January 1st, pack your bags. So know all that while you're on active duty. You get those opportunities because you are that go-to Marine, right? Your chain of command is going to want to help you. Not going to want to lose you, but they're going to help you. With the volunteering, with getting in schools while on active duty, tough call. And this is where leadership sometimes gets in your way. Learn this a lot after deployments, after even field operations, big operations, and field ops. Deployments for the infantry was always tough after you got back. Everyone goes on 30 days leave, that detox period, you take care of things you got to take care of, catch up on some bills, household, the to-do list. And then the Marine Corps says, okay, you were just gone for 7 months, and you got to do your PFT, your rifle, swim qual. Oh, and I need 6 squad leaders for a squad leaders course. NCO school, staff NCO school, all those mandatory training requirements. So as a leader, they're looking back, wow, well, I have 6 quotas to squad leaders course, but if I send all 6 of them, I'm going to be back here training without my squad leaders. Leaders, don't get in your Marines' way. Never use that, I'd like to send you right now, but I need you back here. You're that good that I can't afford to let you go. Poor leadership, period. If you can't do it without one more Marine, you have bigger problems. Don't get in the way of your Marines' succession in their MOS, their rank, their whatever they want to do. Don't get in the way. In fact, find more schools. Send more. Send it's squad leaders course, corporals and above. Do your best to fight for that Lance Corporal who will be a corporal soon, and you know he'll do good in school. Don't hold your Marines back. Don't hold them back. Don't do it. Too many times when you talk to Marines that have been in a long time but haven't been promoted. Well, I haven't done my PME. I'm not PME complete. Those are requirement, primary military education. Why haven't you been promoted staff sergeant? Why I haven't been to the sergeant's course yet? Why not? Automatically, you want to blame the Marine. No, well, I tried this time. My command wouldn't let me go. I tried this time, but we had a big CGI inspection. I couldn't go. I had to brief our section. Nope. All wrong answers for the leaders. Don't hold. You got to where you are. You're promoted. You're in a leadership position. You're in a leadership billet. Somebody afforded you the opportunity to go to those classes, those schools. Excuse me. So don't hold someone else back. Poor leadership. Because you as a leader are going to benefit from that later, right? As much as it hurt sending all those squad leaders to squad leaders school, squad leaders course, infantry squad leaders course, when they came back, boom, had some school train with combat experience, squad leaders ready to go. And ready to go more so than when they left. If you had held him back, he would have been doing the same thing, still performing, still doing the great things that he's doing, but he could be that much better by the time he comes back from that amazing training. So don't do it. Keep that in mind, leaders and youngins, as you move up, right? Especially if you're afforded the opportunity to go to all those schools, allow someone else to benefit, to reap those same benefits. Leadership 101. Man, we talk about that all the time. Leadership 101. And then transition out. 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, whatever it is, that transition is tough. And I think it's tougher than a lot of people realize. You have to go right back to why you went to boot camp. What's the purpose? What's the purpose of your transition? So you got to be honest with yourself in that. Am I getting out for the right reasons? Right? I remember the biggest influx of Marines getting out was after the first tour to Iraq in 2005. They were just ready to just get out, get away from it, take their uniform off, not deploy again. When I got there, they had already done 2 and 3 deployments. So they were ready just to get out. But that's not a complete purpose. That there wasn't a whole lot of WIIFM in it, right? What's in it for me if I get out? Yeah, I get to take the uniform off, grow my hair out, grow a beard, right? Do whatever I want, whenever I want. I can sleep in late. Yeah, those are short-term, short-lived goals. So get that out of your system. That's what you're supposed to do on that 30 days of leave after deployment. So what is your purpose? Why are you going to get out? And then what do you have lined up? And go back home, work for my dad. You got a paint shop, but he's a mechanic, whatever. And sometimes that does happen, and they are successful at it. So good on them for that preparation because they had a purpose. Yeah, my goal is to do 4 years, get some experience, fight for my country, come back and take over my dad's shop. Awesome. Good luck to you. But those of you that don't, that make that quick decision, not a sound and timely decision, make that quick decision just to get out because I'm tired of this crap. Wrong answer. Look at the bigger picture. What's in it for you after you get out? That was the biggest time in my career as a leader that so many Marines 6 months later were calling to get back in. And we talked about it before. It's not easy to get back in. So make that sound and timely decision before you get out. Education. Did you get everything out of those 4 years or 8 years that you intended to because you had a purpose prior to going in? I'm going to join the Marine Corps so I can get my education. Did you get your degree? If you did, I'm going to save some money. You save some money. Did you do the things that you intended to do? And here's what happens a lot of times. You have to stay focused on your purpose, on that mission, because again, you get caught up, the blinders. You get the blinders on, you just want to do the next best thing in the Marine Corps. You went to school, you went on the field op, you can't wait for the first deployment. You hit that deployment, now you want to go to the next one. You want to get prepared for it. You just found out about another school that you could possibly go to. So fortunate, unfortunate, once you see that bigger picture, I'm a corporate now, I can't wait to be a sergeant so I can be a platoon sergeant and motivate more Marines. All that takes place also. And you just want to stay in to continue to help make it better. But you got to stay in to make it better. So those are all decisions that you have to make while you're on active duty. Knowing the leadership is going to change, you're going to move, you fall into a great organization, it could go south quickly. You got to ride it out. That's back to suck it up. We'll talk about it later, but how long do you wait it out? How can you? Marine Corps is easy. The military is easy because it's 3 years. Someone's moving, either you or that poor leadership. Same time, either you're leaving or that good leadership is leaving, and you got to cross your fingers, hope somebody good replaces them. Yes, you in the front.
I said some comments. USMC that has a question.
So, Major, what's your opinion on the rumor of the flying warrant officer program, only helicopters, not jets? So that's in the Army. Warrant officers can fly helicopters. I think it's an awesome program. Why not jets? Until you said it right now, I never even thought about that. I've always known that Army warrant officers can fly helicopters. I think that's a great idea. The Marine Corps has tossed it around, I think, a little bit, whether we should adopt that same program. I absolutely do believe we should. The crew chiefs and the mechanics on all those platforms, those air platforms, know just as much about that platform that the pilot does. So I think it's a great program that the Army has. And why not add jets in there? I think that's a great idea as well. And I wish the Marine Corps would adopt it. I think we'd get a lot of pilots, a lot of great pilots that way. They're seasoned. They've been in for a while. I'm guessing it's mostly you're in the air wing already somewhere, and you have an interest in flying, enlisted. So I think it's a great program. And again, I hope that the Marine Corps does adopt it at one point. What else?
Did you see Doc's question?
No, Doc's question was,
What ways has the Marine Corps education system evolved to meet modern challenges?
what was the first word? What?
What ways
Oh, what ways has the Marine Corps adopted to
the education system evolved?
the education? How has the education system evolved in the Marine Corps to meet today's?
Great question, because that segues into this.
It sets up into set up the GI Bill now. Those of you active duty, help us out. When I went to boot camp, it was automatic. We didn't have a choice. The drill instructor said, sign here. You sign up for the Montgomery GI Bill. And had no idea what it was. They're going to take $100 a month, 12 months. You'll have it paid for. You'll be able to use it later. And I did, like everyone else did, because I was scared not to. School, again, wasn't on my mind when I joined the Marine Corps.
Family wasn't on your mind.
Family wasn't on my mind prior to joining the Marine Corps, just being a Marine. I didn't think about all those things that are being shoved down everyone's throat now, and it's a good thing. So that's one transition piece that I think, or one benefit of social media and today's technology. So I think we've gotten, because I've known more and more Marines now that have their bachelor's degree, master's degree. I had a first sergeant in combat was working on his master's degree. So it is possible. And I think the Marine Corps is, all the military is more pro education than back in the day. Probably you ain't got time for that because everything's online now, right? You wouldn't have time. In the first class I took, I was in Okinawa, PFC, signed up for some classes. Very, very difficult. I had to do it only on after hours. Nothing was online. I had to go to the base education. So it was difficult. It deterred me from doing it because the little time I had off, I want to go to school. So I finished one class, didn't finish the other one, and didn't do it again decades later. So I think the military in general has definitely pushed education. You go to base education now, there's like 30 colleges represented at that base education, and they get you in. I think with all of our schools, all the PME schools that you went to. So when I did finally go to get my degree, to finish my degree, they calculated all of my military schools, even the MCIs. Some of those counted towards gave me college credits. All the in-house PMEs, staff NCO course, advanced course, the instructor course, all those courses translated into college credits. Instructors at the Staff NCO Academy get college credit for teaching. So not a whole lot of reasons why you should not be able to get your degree while you're on active duty. And then after is when you use the GI Bill. So my Montgomery GI Bill changed over to the 9/11 GI Bill, still using it today. So it's and there's timelines, so you got to know exactly what you're getting into. Once I had a family, transferred some months over to my family, so any one of them that needed it could have used it, and they haven't had to yet, and I'm getting ready to use it. So no excuse to not have a degree while you're on active duty. While you're on active duty, use tuition assistance. All you got to do is pass the class, maintain the C average, government pays for it. Yes, ma'am.
So Adam, you said he transferred it to his son, but remind everyone that they should keep at least one.
So Gunny East transferred all of his guns. Did you transfer a lot of different ways to apply for programs and get a degree, grad school?
No, you need to save one.
Yes. So you get 36 units or 36 months is the GI Bill. 36 months, that's a degree, right? That's 4 years. I know mathematically, but
It's 9 months per school year.
9 months per school year. So that's 36 months is a 4-year degree. And you can share it with your dependents. But the key to it is, and luckily somebody told me this years ago, he said just transfer 1 month to each dependent. I think that's what I did. Either way, I included them all and kept 1 month for myself. So I spread them evenly. I don't remember.
Everyone has at least one.
At least everyone has, make sure everyone has at least 1 month. So once my daughter aged out, I pulled all of hers. She's not going to need it. She's not going to use it. So now that's the 36 months goes back to whoever's still left. But you have to make sure you have at least 1 month. And we had a time period that we had to do that. And luckily I did it in time. So anyone,
But you can't do it after you get out.
you can't move them after you get out. So you have to move them while you're still active duty. So
No,
even
you
though,
have to assign them. You have to assign them while you're active duty. You can move them when you're out, but you
yes,
can't give someone who has.
if you get out and you didn't assign one kid 1 month, he or she's never going to get it. So prior to getting out, everyone has to have at least 1 month. And then when you get out, you can move them if everyone has already been issued 1 month. I don't know if I can explain it too many more ways.
And because what we're looking at now is the VRE, VR&E.
And the VR&E,
1 month left on your GI Bill in order to use the VRE and get the
so VR&E, what's it stand for?
vocational.
Yes, VR&E. That's another opportunity once you get out.
But you can get the housing allowance or the stipend, but you have to have at least 1 month of the GI Bill left.
So using either one of them, VR&E or the GI Bill, once you're out, they pay you a stipend for the VR&E or they pay your housing allowance, VAH.
No, they don't call it that.
They don't call it that. VHA, MHA. They call it something else. But pretty much they're paying you to go to school now because you paid into the GI Bill when you had that opportunity. So whatever degree you get while you're in, say you just get an associate's because for whatever reason, you've transferred, you have the GI Bill, the post 9/11 GI Bill, you transferred months to everyone in your family. When you get out, whoever still needs that, and you can move. If I gave someone 10 and I kept 10, I don't use mine. he or she is, I can still transfer those months over so they can finish and get their degree. So huge education benefits, right? Again, I got to say there's no reason not to get a degree while you're on active duty and shortly after, right? The who knows how long the GI Bill is good for? 10 years after you get out, 15 years. They even had an
It's
extension.
indefinite now.
Now it's indefinite. Depending on probably when you enlisted, it's indefinite.
Well, if you, yeah, when you get out to,
Base education. Call base education. Find out. Visit base education. Ask, hey, look, I got my associates while I'm active duty. I have the post 9/11 GI Bill. Tell me about the VRNA, and let's move on from there. Make sure you get your degree. Right? It's. I want to say it's as easy as that.
Doc Hardy had a great question.
Doc,
He said, if you could go back to the beginning of your career, what would you do differently in terms of education and personal development, and how do you think it would have
if I can go back and tell young PFC Cece, what advice would I give myself? Education wise, would have been I shouldn't have dropped that stats class. Yes, it was hard, but I should have stuck with it. Luckily, we had a deployment coming up, and I had to officially get pulled out, so I didn't get charged for it. But I would have hit education so hard. I would have probably done a couple years out of high school and in the Marine Corps because that was just me personally. I was done with school. I didn't want anything to do with it. Knowing what I know now, though, I would have had it at least an associate's after my first 4 years. I reenlisted, boom, bachelor's. 100% I would have had a bachelor's sometime throughout my second enlistment. And then I'd have retired with a couple masters. It's just, there's, again, no reason not to. What did I have to do that was so important after working hours, after deployment, on leave? There's way too many opportunities. So education wise, Doc, I have a master's right now, no doubt in my mind. So if I could tell, again, those of you that are getting ready to go in, or even those guns, hopefully you're working on your master's by now. All things that are possible, affordable, and offered, take advantage. Take advantage. Even and some people do just that. They join the military for their education. Let the government pay for it. And the job, the aircraft mechanic, not only are you going to teach me how to fix aircraft, you're going to get me my bachelor's or master's degree in it. So when I do get out, you are top pickings for the civilian community. Remember a point in time in my career it must have been when I worked at the air station, Lockheed Martin would send recruiters to Hawaii. Say, how you like working on this helicopter? Oh, I love it. Turning wrenches, greasy. I got duty tomorrow. He said, you know a place where you don't have duty and you make 3 times as much? Yes, they come and pick them out. Command doesn't like it too much because they're losing a good helicopter mechanic, but that's setting yourself up for when you get out. That easy, that simple, and that smart. Infantry, well, I didn't know how to kill people. Well, get your degree and something you want to do once you do get out. Degrees, and it can be in anything. We already talked about degrees to become a Marine officer or a military officer. Your degree can be in anything. Right? They're not going to stop you from joining the Marine Corps because you have a degree in basket weaving. I don't know why we always use that one, but whatever your degree is in, that shows your commitment and that you're willing to do the work. So get with base education, find out, or no, back up. First find out, or yeah, go to base education. So what are the opportunities after the Marine Corps? What degrees do you offer at this school? Nothing interests you, go to the next. There's, again, at least 30 colleges represented at base education. Find something you're going to be interested in once you get out and go for it. GI Bill. When I was in, I remember after I think got to Okinawa when I was still paying $100 a month. I was thinking, man, what I could do with that $100 a month if I wasn't paying for this dumb GI Bill. I'm glad somebody didn't let me cancel it to get that extra $100 a month. Nothing. Nothing. Crazy. The thought that I had back then because there wasn't enough people telling me how important your education is. Businesses now, go online, job apps, LinkedIn, go on places like that. What are the requirements for this position? So many years experience, good with your hands, you can type well, and experienced mechanic, degree. 90% of them, I want to say minimum bachelor's degree, bachelor's or equivalent. Every now and then you'll see an associate's. But if all you have to work with is a high school diploma, they're going to, come on, common sense, they're going to push you aside. You might be the best fit for that job, but they're not going to know because they're not going to give you the time of day, whether that degree helps you be a good person or not. Everyone has their own feelings on, does it really a piece of paper really describe exactly what kind of worker I am? No. But when they're trying to hire you and they don't know you from anyone else, and that's all they have to go to, your resume has to paint a picture of he is a good fit. Here's how I know. Dedicated his time to getting his degree. Yeah, his degree was in something weird, but he dedicated his time and effort. He has a degree. That's just a check off the requirements for that job. Sometimes they'll still hire you, but at a lower rate, right? Lower salary because you don't have your degree. JRTC just moved to that. You have to have a degree to be a JRTC instructor, an associate's to start, but your pay increases with your degree. Bachelor instructors with a bachelor degree make more than instructors with an associate's degree. Period. It's that simple. And all the way up. So why would you not? Whether you think a degree doesn't matter or not, I don't need a degree. I'm a hard worker. I got get it done. Yeah, you probably do. But CEOs want to see that commitment. They want to see that you're willing to put in the work. So do it. There's no reason not to. All right. Boot camp, active duty, and then the transition out. Those are areas we love to talk about here, and everyone benefits from it. Hit on transition, I think, quite a bit last time, so we won't continue with that. But it's just knowing that all three of those aspects of your career got to have a purpose, right? And you have to know the WIIFM, what's in it for me. Don't get it confused with being selfish, but there are times in your life that you have to be selfish, and that's one of them when you're deciding what you're going to do once you get out, right? Or even back up. What's your purpose going into boot camp? What's your purpose on active duty? And what's your purpose once you get out? So all the things you have to consider along with every other aspect of being a Marine. Not easy. Got to maintain your physical fitness, your rifle, pistol, swim qual. Every school that required PME to get getting promoted, right? Drill, ceremonies, performing your job, whatever your MOS is. All those things are on top of your purpose and your mission for once you leave the service. Ever. Once you throw your boots up on the telephone wires, they still do that. I got to believe they do. I think every duty station, every base has that one telephone wire that when on Marine's last day, and sometimes they're so high, I don't know how to get them up there. The one to San Onofre was a good one. They would go up there and cut them down. Once they got about 6 pair of boots up there because I was pulling the telephone line out, about to lose power for all of San Onofre. But going down that road is like a 3-mile road till you get to base, and you're just driving like, oh, somebody else just got out, throwing your boots up over the wire. It's a weird tradition. Never did it. Maybe once the day I stopped wearing my boots, I'll throw them over somebody's wire. All right, we'll transition to leadership. You know, it's a favorite topic of all of ours on here. Leadership 101. Here's a leadership story. I should have told you the story and then related to leadership, but 100% it's about leadership. You've heard the jingle, Safe Light Repairs, Safe Light Replace. I've used them a couple times.
Safe Light destroyed.
So convenient. I'm assuming it's a $1 billion company. I don't know, millions, billions, maybe. They're well known. They come out, they fix your glass, or you can take it to the shop. It's up to you. I'm sure they obviously cost more if they come out to you. Windshields, very dangerous for cracked windshield. If you come out like the commercial, you come out from a dinner at a restaurant with your family and your windshield smashed. What do? You call SafeLight. They go to the restaurant, they replace it, boom, done. And I've used them twice already. Right, my truck got broken into, side window. They came out to the house, boom, changed it. It was good. Even the tinted window that I had on it, not as dark as what I had, but they brought a tinted window, changed it, no problems. My daughter's her back window of her car from a weed eater, boom, shot a rock, boom, split it, shattered the whole back window. Same thing, Safe Light came out, replaced it, never moved the vehicle, cleaned it up. My truck they didn't clean up real great. It's the back passenger door. Every now and then when I close it, my daughter closes it too hard, you can hear some glass on the bottom. It's a big door, it's a big truck, so I'm sure he sucked up as much of the glass as he could. Could have tried a little harder, in my opinion. But it works. Windows up and down, everything's great. However, my most recent event with Safe Light, same thing. It was a rock got spit up from the weed eaters. Boom, shattered the glass. Had tin on it, so it shattered but stayed there. Called Safe Light because they've been solid for 2 times right now up to this point. Called them up, came out. It was like 2 days later than I actually took 2 days, and who knows, busy time of year, whatever. But he came out and the guy showed him where it was. It was covered, right? They want you to have 4 feet surrounding the vehicle and covered in case of bad weather, in case it's raining or it's extremely hot, whatever. Excuse me. Provided all that for him. And about 10 minutes into it, he gave me a call. I said, could you come on out? I got to show you something. A little bit of a language barrier. Came out. He said, this piece here, when I took the window out, this piece fell out. I'm not sure where it goes. I was like, that kind of sucks. I'm thinking he'll probably find it when he goes to put the new window in. I don't know. I've never changed the side window. I've never changed any windows before. I'm sure the front and back are easy because there's no mechanics to it. I did that like you used to roll them down. There's no mechanics to it. So when he called me out, I took a look at it. He said, you could look in there. I tried to see where that piece went. I don't know. I said, well, I don't know either. He said, well, just hold on to it. Do you still want me to change the window? I said, well, of course. You took the old one out. I need a window in there. He had the window with him. So about 20 minutes later, he calls me out again and says, I can't get the window in. It won't stay in. I think it's because of this piece. I said, I'm guessing so too. Again, I'm not the window guy. I'm not Safe Light, but I'm guessing it's probably because you didn't find out where that piece went. And then he said, excuse me, oh, by the way, the motor's out. The regulator's out. It won't go up and down. I was like, that's interesting because it worked before you started messing with it, before you took it out and that piece dropped out. I was very nice. Yes, you said you were a little bit nicer with them. And I absolutely was. I was like, wow. So what do we do? He's like, I don't know. I can't put it in. Here, look, I taped your window up. And he put cardboard on it and taped it up all nice and neat. And so what I don't understand though, where do we go from here? I need my window changed. You came out to change my window. He said, you're gonna have to call Safe Light. Oh no, let me back up. He said, well, if You go buy a new motor. Let me know when you got it. I'll come back out,
Sounds like a scam to me.
put your motor in, and then I'll replace your window. I was like, so I have to buy the motor that was working prior to you got here. And try to tell me, sometimes it does happen, and I believe them to this day. Even the few people I talk to after at Safe Flight, it does happen. And my question to them is, what do you do when that does happen? If it happens sometimes, so it has happened before,
Why are they not prepared for it?
why are you not prepared for it? And the first manager I talked to, she's like, well, we don't change out motors. We just change the glass. I said, got that, you're a glass company, but there are people that do change out the motors. I could even change it out, but who's paying for it? Because it worked prior to him taking my glass out and dropping that piece and not knowing where it went to.
Wait, did you explain how he?
Yeah, it wasn't very gentle with taking the panel off because one of the pegs broke. And come to find out, there's only three in there. So missing one, I didn't think was a big deal until I realized there's only three. So now it's a big deal. It's a little loose. And even the sheet that, the paper, plastic that gets stuck to it to, I don't know, keep the grease off or whatever, a liner, you can't even rip that a little bit. Didn't take good care in taking that off. And his window hadn't been replaced before. So he was the first one to get in there. So he couldn't help me. And I'm not going to take it out on this guy. He was sent out to do a job, couldn't do it. He's got to leave. So I did call. It took me a couple of days to get a hold of the manager. And she, again, wasn't taking accountability. Right? There goes that word. She wasn't holding anyone accountable. She's like, well, he shouldn't have offered to put that in. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have.
He offered on his own.
I say he did, though. He did offer all that. I don't know anything about changing the window. This is what he offered to do. Sounded great, but I still needed to know who was paying for that. And she said, well, that's it's your motor. That's your car. That's your regulator. You have to get a new one. So needless to say, is that your final answer kind of thing? That's your leadership in action. You're the manager. That's your stance. Nothing. You're not going to do anything about it. She said, yes. All right. Like a good customer, a loyal customer at this point to Safe Flight. I said, well, who's in charge of you? And I didn't want to say, give me our manager. I don't want to sound like that Karen, but I said, who can make a better decision? Who above you can actually make a leadership decision that's going to affect our business here? And she gave me a number, or she kept trying to connect me, or she tried to join him in the call, try to do a three-way. She said, I'll add him to this call. He's not answering. Sorry. He's not answering. Sorry. He's not answering. I'll have him call you. And it was one of those things like checks in the mail. So I gave it a day. I think this was on a Saturday. What day of the week was it? Because I gave it a full 48 hours. I didn't only give it one day. The next morning, almost a full 48 hours, and I called her back. I said, hey, this is who I am. Remember we spoke. Is this you, Maggie? And she said, yes. I said, I haven't been called by anyone. Can you give me his number? She said, oh, he's actually in right now. Let me give him your number and have him call you. Again, fingers crossed. He actually called, though. Called a couple hours later. He called. Again, went over the whole scenario, whole story with them, and asked him his position. He was QMC or some quality manager, something, right? So he was up there at somewhere at headquarters, not local. So spoke with him, described it verbatim, the whole story. He tried, well, sometimes, even when a rock hits it, maybe it's shattered and it damaged it. Again, all scenarios that possible. I don't know how probable. I still believe when he ripped the thing off and pulled the window out is when that piece dropped and he's like, oh crap, what was that? I don't know where it is. He vacuumed everything out. It was clean. It looked good. Everything looked good. He couldn't find out where that piece went. So I described all that to him, and he was holding strong. Well, it happens sometimes, and we don't do motors or regulators. He shouldn't have offered to do that. I'll be sure and talk to him about that, and that's not what we do. We just change windows. It's okay. Again, obviously, you're not making a good decision here. I said, I already looked it up. A motor costs $110. So just on a leadership aspect of it, is it better for Safe Flight to lose $100 or a customer for a lifetime? Right? Let's weigh. Let's do the math here. Right? What's better, to do the right thing and fix this thing, finish what you started, and maintain a customer? Tossed him a softball, bro. He could have knocked it out of the park. You know what, sir? We don't normally do this. I hear you, because it was getting ready to rain in a couple. I said, hey, the rain's coming too, and I have a cardboard window. I'm not driving it anywhere. It's a tiny car. I'm not driving without being able to see it. I said, it's something's got to be done. Make a command decision. You're in charge. You were put there for a reason. I don't know if you just started, you've been doing this for years, but this is your opportunity to be a leader, to hold somebody accountable. Who's who should be held accountable? You. What you do with the chain of command, all the way down to the guy who did it, that's on you. All part of the burden of leadership. Kind of discussed all this with him, and I was even talking nicer than I am now, but getting fired up just thinking about it. Bro, make a command decision. Do the right thing. Yeah, the customer's always right. I don't always believe that, but in a situation like this where you're going to, again, lose $100, I think somebody above the CEO of SafeLight, I think, would be okay with that instead of losing a customer for life. In one ear, out the other. He's like leaders I'm dealing with today. Same thing, just wants this gone, over and done with. So obviously, I let him off the hook. How many leadership lessons can I teach this guy at his own job? I'm still not okay with it, and I don't have I don't have a Yelp account or anything like that. I'm thinking about creating one just to get this word out. But then so I had somebody else come to fix it. This dude popped, boom, in and out, changed the motor, boom, half the price. He said, but at the last minute, and here's what got me back on the Safe Light train was, when I put the panel back on, it's gonna be loose because the peg was broke off. I was like, man, not only did this dude screw the whole entire thing up, and he broke a peg. So, and this guy, I don't have a, it's something that broke off. It's a little plastic, when you boom, pop it back in. I don't know how you replace that. I'm sure there's a way. Duct tape. It's what it's gonna turn into. But that just set me right back off on this
Because it just devalued the car.
guy who missed such a huge leadership opportunity and lost a customer for life. Tell all my friends. I know my family's never going to use it. I used them once. My daughter used it once. Was good. Did we get a bad worker? Doesn't matter. That's not the problem at all. The burden of leadership. And that's why I try to end it with this guy. And, I was talking cool. And sometimes being a good leader is making those hard decisions. And this is one. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. This is a tough decision on you, but it's not tough to do the right thing. You know what the right thing to do is, right? This is 100% Safe Light's fault. 100%. Do the right thing, buddy. Fix it. So he did. So now, again, I'm not done with Safe Light, and I said, so let me talk to your boss. He's like, well, I'm the QNC something, and I'm the quality control guy. I am the I don't have a boss, which obviously is full of crap because everyone has a boss. The CEO of Safe Light even has a chain of command. So it's going to get to the CEO one way or the other. Anybody work for Safe Light? I didn't even check. Do we have a Safe Light employee here? Lay Cookie. He was not a leader. He was a follower of company policy. Oh, thanks for reminding me. And that's a problem with corporate America. There are no leaders for the most part. So that's what it is. I said, look at even, because he said he had a board. I proposed this to the board and they looked it over and they all voted and, this is the outcome. We ain't going to do crap. I said, listen, I can picture your board right now. They have a checklist. Did this happen? Did a rock hit it? And is it possible? Yes. And they put the SOPs, put the policies, put the checklist aside and do the right thing. That's what it boiled down to. He was following policy. I think he thought he was, no, he knows he wasn't doing the right thing. But that was his scapegoat. Policy tells me the board reviewed it and the board decided, and the board, I said, quit blaming the board, bro. If you're in charge, you're in charge. Hey, board, I recognize what you've come up with, but we're going to do the right thing this time. We're going to fix this guy. We're going to make this right for this guy, his family, and maintain a customer for life. Missed it. Whiffed that. Softball, slow pitch, right to him. Big fat bat. Could have knocked it out of the park. Missed it. Missed a golden opportunity. All right. That's my leadership tip of the day. Sometimes you just got to do the right thing. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not, it'd be a popular decision with the customer, might not be a popular decision with his boss. And he could have said, you know what, boss, hey, if it comes down to it, hey, here, I'll give you the $100 out of my pocket. But we have this guy for life, right? And the next time he calls, we're in charge of $500 to fix a window. So
right, and we weren't trying to get it.
It'll pay for it.
Fired, but at the same time, how do we know that's not a scam that he says, oh, well,
go buy it, I can put it in, a little kick down. Yep. Doing the right thing. I had another guy, and this is another leadership story, out of business. I had to replace a shock in another one of my wife's cars. So, and it wouldn't pass safety and the shock was bleeding a little bit. And it was leaking. And again, I should have wiped it off before I went to get safety. It was driving fine. But to pass the safety, some states are pretty strict on it. And I guess that's a good thing. So you don't have clunkers driving down the road. So I went in to AutoZone. Dude looked it up and said, I can't find that particular one. I can't find that one. He kept looking. Similar cars. Couldn't find the exact one. He said, tell you what, look it. I'm going to order this one. I think it'll fit. Never changed the shock before, so I didn't know. He said, if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Just bring it back. Got you. Remember his name and stuff. I got you, bro. Appreciate you. Came like a week later, and it took a week to get there. Called, they said your shock is in, went and picked it up, took it home all excited, opened it up, took the old one out, went to put the new one in. Wrong one. Completely different attachment on top. Right size and everything, but the attachment was different. I don't know if it was a different year or whatever. So I packaged it all back up nice and neat, and I don't tear stuff apart when I open it up, just in case. I learned that from the producer. Put everything, looked like it was brand new. Went to take it back to AutoZone, and that dude wasn't there, the dude who sold it to me. Not a big deal. I have the receipt, right? It's been a day after I got it. I did it that same day. This time it was an older gentleman, looked like a manager, and sure enough, I looked at his name tag, said manager. I was like, easy peasy. I said, I just need to return this. It's the wrong one. Can you see if you can find the right one? And, he's on the computer. He said, no, this ain't it. I said, well, the guy who sold it to me even said that it's not a perfect match, but it should fit. He said, well, it's not. So, yeah, I'll take it back. And he didn't refund me all the money. He kept $15 for shipping. He wanted me to pay for the shipping of the wrong part, right? And I was like, wait a minute. And I had left already, right? And I looked at the receipt later, and I was like, no, because I had to go to a shade tree auto mechanic. He found it. So I went back, and luckily the same guy, the same older gentleman manager, was still there. Told him, I said, look, I didn't get refunded my full amount. He's like, oh no, that's for shipping. So I'm not paying for shipping because I'm not using the part. I said, in fact, I didn't even know there's a shipping charge on it. He said, the clerk should have told you. Should have, but he didn't. And not only that, I'm not using the part, I'm giving it back. It's yours now. Keep it in your shop. I'm not paying for something to be shipped to your shop to sell it for something else, to someone else. Not gonna happen. He said, well, let me go back and let me see what I could do. I don't know if he called somebody, he went to the back, probably smoked a cigarette, came back out, all fired up. He said, sorry, there's nothing I could do. I said, bro, I'm not leaving this side. It was a little testy with this guy. I'm not leaving here until you give me my $15 for shipping. He said, you want $15? He started to get a little froggy too. You want 15 bucks? Pulled out his little money clip and dropped 20. He said, here, I'll pay for it out of my own pocket. I said, bro, I'll take your money. I said, but that's not the right thing to do. And I put it back. AutoZone needs to do the right thing. You need to get back on the phone, whoever you talk to, and say, look, this is our situation. This is not right. This customer should not have to pay for it. I said, plus, I want a receipt. And he just started typing some stuff on there, typing. He did a return. He said, I'll figure it out later. He said, I apologize. But he came right out and said, it is the right thing to do. And he said, and you're right, I shouldn't pay for it out of my own pocket. This is an AutoZone mistake. So somebody's going to pay for it, and it's not going to be you. He typed it up, gave me the $15.85, the exact change back with the receipt. He said, I'll work out the details later. Don't worry about it. I was like, boom. He hit a home run with that slow pitch softball. And then the best part about it was, yeah, right after we were done duking it out, he said, by the way, it was good to see you again, Cece. He said, you still driving that old truck out there? He said, man, I love that truck. I remember you coming here all the time. I didn't really recognize him, and I used that same AutoZone. Same thing. He would have lost a customer for life. And I think he finally something snapped in him. He said, I apologize. He should have told you. He shouldn't have even sold you the wrong part. And good to see you again. Right? See you at the surf. Yeah, see you later. Can't wait to see him again. But it happens. That's 100% of the time. Any problem is a leadership problem, right? Any success is a leadership success. So do the right thing. When you're in a leadership position, as uncomfortable as it may be, as hard as that decision may be, do the right thing. Too many leaders nowadays, and I'm telling you, I'm experiencing it now. Too many leaders take the easy way out. They don't fight for what's right. It's not always easy to make that right decision. Hopefully, that guy fought with corporate a little bit and got his $15 back, because his till would have been wrong at the end of the day. But he did the absolute right thing. And sometimes you got to do it. Too many leaders don't, and it's a shame when they miss that. Especially again, deliver both those guys a softball. Boom, bruh, knock it out of the park. Lead, man. Especially when you're in a position like that. Too many leaders. I say this over and over too. They get in that position. They think they're done working. Your work just tripled by being in that leadership position. Hopefully, both those bosses will protect their employee. Counsel them, bro. You can't do that. You shouldn't have done that. Don't forget to tell them this. You need to do the right thing too. That's how you find out. What if it's a pattern, right? It might be someone that just needs to be let go. Employee might be in the wrong position, but it's up to the leaders to determine that, to find that out. Let me investigate this whole situation. Bro, here's your $15 back. Thank you. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to serve you. Don't worry about what I do on my end of it. Same thing as SafeLight. I'm going to make this right. I'll work out the details later. That's not for you, our customer, to even be a part of. Make it happen, Captain. That's how it works. Leadership 101. All right. All right. That was my leadership soapbox. Talked about boot camp, active duty, and transition out. Anything, producer, did I miss?
Talking about big trucks.
Big trucks.
Cummins, do you know what Cummins is?
Yeah. Those are big boys.
That's a kid saying.
Yeah, those are big boys. I have So I thought forever that I wanted a Tundra. Really did. Test drove one a couple times. Like it, like the look of it. Toyotas last forever. Had a buddy kept talking to me about the Chevys, right? Chevy and Ford. Don't get me on the Chevy and Ford kick, but I ended up going with the Chevy. Worked at a dealership, dropped it off for me a couple times. Hey, check this out, four door, 4-wheel drive, big white truck, kind of like I like it. And I can't afford a Cummins, Keenan, unless you pay half. Uh, Fell in love with this Silverado. I really, to this day, still love it. It's 5 years old now. We finally paid it off. It feels good. Had a couple of issues with it early on, and I almost swore off Chevy. 6 years, almost 100,000 miles. Almost swore off Chevy completely because of problems I had kind of early on with it. Drive shaft was one, AC was one, stuff that I didn't think should happen at 2 years old. So, but it's running strong now. Knock on wood. It's taking care of everything's going well. And then what really sold me was when Lake Cookie's Ford blew up, Big O's Ford blew up. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna stick with Chevy for a little while. Don't get me on the Chevy Ford battle. I like the way Fords look. The only thing I don't like about Fords, they seem tall and slim, and my Chevy seems short and fat like me. So I fit better in the Chevy than I do in the Ford. It look slim and tall, and they look tough. Right, the 250s, 350s, 450. I had a buddy got a 450 in Hawaii dually. It was the biggest thing in Hawaii. Yeah, huge, huge truck. You can't park it anywhere, right? Guzzled. It was a diesel, guzzled gas. He didn't want to drive it anywhere. Look cool as heck, though.
You got a great deal because the other guy that special ordered it.
So somebody special ordered this baby. Exactly all the specs. Again, 4-wheel drive, dually, diesel, F450, blacked out. Had the big hitch for a fifth wheel on. I mean, he just big toolbox. This guy ordered it, drove it for a little while, couldn't afford it. Went a little over budget, so he returned it. That's when our buddy Moku saw it, and he said, "What's up with that one?" He said, "Oh, I just returned it. You want to take over payments?" He said, "Absolutely." Biggest truck in Hawaii. It's awesome. Uh, my Ford burned to the ground, replaced with the F450. All right, Lake Cookie. Still sticking with that Ford F450. That's a beast. That is. And next Chevy I buy, all right, next truck I buy is going to be a bigger one. I didn't know all the specs I want. I did special order mine, some stuff I thought of, and I love everything about it. But there's now after driving it for a few years, I know the couple extra things that I'm going to get on my new one. After I enjoy this one for a while without making payments. Uh, Tundra is the way to go. So again, big fan of Toyota, Doc. We really are. I had a 4Runner with like 250,000 miles on it. Ran strong for a while, but it needed work. I'm not that mechanic that can constantly work on it. I do the basics, oil change, and things to keep it going, but I can't change a head gasket. That's beyond my scope. And that's what happened to the Toyota. After 250,000 miles, though. So had a good run. Love the Toyotas. Even though he had a 450. So in my uh, Silverado 1500, we can fit the whole family in. So again, Chevy, a little more room on the inside. We've all seven been in there before, right?
All seven?
Haven't we?
In what?
Always room for one more. Silverado. It's like a Humvee. There's always room for one more.
Not comfortably.
Well, no, not comfortably, but me and you were comfortable.
They're not little anymore.
Yeah,
They're all full size adults.
yeah. Now they're all adults. It doesn't work as well. How about speaking of boots? How about the first car that they purchase? Come on, leaders. We got to stop them from buying that Camaro. I don't know, what are the hot rod cars? The Chargers, right? The cool ride, the Acura Integras, right? The hot rod to look cool in front of the chicks with E1 and up, financing E1 and up right here, buddy. We got you. 28% interest. Come on. Luckily, we talked our daughter in her first 4 years. Don't buy a new car. Right? You're going to be deploying, you're going to be traveling, you're going to be PCS, and whatever the case is. Buy a used vehicle, pay it off so you're not making payments and you don't have an outrageous interest rate.
And for the guys, they deploy and they just park the cars right.
Especially the infantry, those of you that deploy every 7 months, every 14 months minimum, that you're gone all the time, you leave it in the parking lot, it gets damaged, you let your buddy take care of it for you. Your girlfriend, she'll take care of it all right.
Some of her boyfriend.
Her and your best friend. No need to buy a brand new car. You don't need to keep up with the Joneses, right? We've said that before. Oh, look at his cool car, his cool ride. One, all that does is it's a liability for you. You get a car with a four-door, especially, that's just more drunk Marines you can fit in there. And all of a sudden, you're everybody's best friend. Bro, can you run into the store? Bro, let's go out. Bro, let's get, right? If you buy anything, buy a two-seater that you can only fit one person in, and you can't even because all your gear is in the passenger seat. Nope, don't do it. Wait for a while. Step into, wait till you're established, you got a good career, you save some money, you can put a big fat down payment on it, so your payments are low. You still got insurance. You got to pay for gas, right? How often do those guys that ask you for a ride give you gas money, pay the maintenance fees on it? How often do they change the oil for you? Nope, they just want to ride. So no need, right? You buy the car of NCTD. They still have that. No car to drive. Take the bus, right? Take the bus, walk. Yes, back in my day, we walked uphill both ways barefoot to get out in town in the snow. So, can you survive your first enlistment without a car? Yes. Again, maybe towards the end when you know you're going to re-enlist, you're going to have a steady paycheck. That's the other one thing they do. At their 3 year mark, they buy that Camaro with a high interest rate and payments for 6 years, but your EAS is in 1 year. Again, do the math. Math for Marines. It doesn't add up. So wait till you re-enlist, use that re-enlistment bonus, then get something. And then once you get it, take care of it. How many bases, how many barracks? You can go anywhere in the world right now in a Marine Corps base, probably all military bases, and that lot that's in the back parking lot of one of the barracks that has all the deployment cars. Right? We had a sergeant major on Marine Corps base Hawaii. That was his thing, was deployed cars. That's all we talked about. He drove around probably daily in his little golf cart, just marking all the cars that were left by Charlie. That was his thing. He was going to, well, that was his mark. He was going to leave on the Marine Corps before he left as being the base sergeant major, is getting rid of all of the abandoned vehicles on base. And I get it. In Hawaii, there's not a lot of space there. It's not a whole lot of junkyards. And what are they going to do? They ship them over and then they leave them. So it is a problem, huge problem, because what they do, and then trying to find the owner of it, the real owner, because this dude just loaned it to this guy, and then that guy deployed and loaned it to someone else, and then he bought it from that guy, but he didn't have the original title. It's still in this guy's name, who's been out of the Marine Corps for 6 years. Good luck finding him and tell him to get his car off base. So it is a huge problem. So buy what you can afford, what you need, and only late when you need it. That's why I like that rule in Okinawa. I hope it's still there. E4 and below cannot even get driver's license. I think it's E5 or E4 and below. Can't even get a driver's license. No need to drive. And even as a step-in, our first car when we got there, I think all of our cars were island cars. Weren't purchasing anything brand new from any of the dealerships because you're just going to leave it there. Did we ship a car over?
No way.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even ship a car over.
We tried to ship one this way.
We tried to ship one back. That's a story for,
California has too many stupid
yeah,
regulations.
California has way too many stupid regulations. We wanted to ship a car, a Japanese car over.
We tried.
We never did, but island cars. Those you going to Okinawa, I'm sure Guam, maybe mainland Japan, those same. Buy an island car from somebody. Our first car was a warrant officer leaving, and it was a little
Celica.
Celica 2-door. It was the four of us,
There's 5 of us.
5 of us. You were pregnant.
No.
Oh,
What? You know?
yeah.
Yeah. We had a car seat.
We had a car seat.
It was you, me, and the 3 bigs.
5 of us in a Celica, but it was an island car, and he even sold it to me for $1 to make it an actual transition. And it was an island car, and we sold it to someone else or gave it to someone else. We went through about 5 or 6 cars while we were there. The best was the big van, the blue line, the blue dash. Like the green line was the bus system. We had the blue dash. So I can fit my daughter's whole soccer team in there.
Do they know what we have now?
No. So to get a JCI, make sure it has a good amount of time on the JCI, Japanese something inspection.
Compulsory insurance.
Compulsory insurance, JCI, yes. All those things matter, and it's a pain in the butt. First, you got to get your Japanese driver's license. And over there, we had a van, a high ace, and those of you that know, you know. If you know, you know. But to ship it from Japan to America, again, you got to change emissions. We try to ship a little car, a wagon R, and we could have 2 stipulations to it. It had to completely change the emissions on it, and the crash. There's something about it had to be crash tested first. So yes, they were gonna send it over, crash test it, and then if it passed, there you go. Here's your banged up car. It passed or it didn't pass. You got to send it back. So needless to say, we didn't do that. The rule now, though, as long as it's 25 years or older, you can ship from Japan to the U.S. In which we found one, crash rating. We found one. The producer found one about 6 hours from here, and it was a 25-year-old high ace special edition van with spoilers all the way around. You've been to Japan, you know they deck all their cars out. Seats spin around. You can lay them all down. It could be a huge bed with blankets. There's curtains all the way around. There's 2 sunroofs. All the curtains are on electric up front. Mechanized. You can open or close all the curtains. It's tinted all the way around. It has a Japanese map. Still has the original Japanese radio and GPS on it. CD player, of course. Is it a 10 CD player? I think it is. A whole comes out. You can pop some CDs in there. It's pretty high speed for a 25-year-old vehicle. It's awesome. It's in the shop right now, but it's awesome. Fun to drive. Obviously, the steering wheel is on the right side, right? So that is interesting. I don't know how many times we're driving it and we go to turn and the windshield wipers come on, right? Because that's opposite. A manual. In fact, that first Celica was a manual. So now you're shifting with your left hand. Clutch and brake are still in the same spot, but it's on the opposite side. Pretty fun, pretty interesting. Enjoyed it, but we again enjoyed those vehicles so much. Now we have one. Getting ready to make a road trip in it. Perfect beach cruiser. Rides like a bug. You see the VW vans.
We're going to put mystery machine on the side.
Put mystery machine on the side. Put some mag wheels on it. Put a wrap, surfboard racks on top, and go cross country in that baby. Driving on the wrong side of the road. The engine is right under your butt, which does make it kind of hot. The first thing we did, we got the AC kicking. The other thing in Okinawa, it seemed like the ACs were always going out. So hot and muggy over there. Everyone's blasting their ACs. Got that baby kicking. It's good. It's a fun ride. All right. How do we get on those? How do we get on vehicles?
Just talking stories.
Talking story. Good stuff. Doc says, why do Marines refuse to drive convertible? Because you couldn't handle the top-down mission. Yeah, top down. I like that. So, and that's it. That's the basis of this channel right there. You see the type of stuff we talk about. Did we have anybody new join in and say, what's this channel about? I like when we see those. Make sure you pass the word. Get some, let's continue to grow this channel. Nothing but goodness here. We don't want anyone to learn the hard way like most of us on this channel have. No reason to. No reason to reinvent the wheel. Bringing it back to the basics, right? That's a smart way to do things, right? Leadership 101, back to basics, right? Making those hard decisions. Lonely at the top. Our daughter is feeling it. You saw her on here. Annie Benani in the JRTC unit as a battalion commander. It's lonely at the top. You got to make some hard decisions that aren't going to be very popular, but they're the right thing to do.
She got her first decline letter.
Yes, and her right her college list is up there on the wall. There's a lot of them, about 13, 14 different colleges, a couple of service academies she applied to. She received her first denied today. Can you tell me which one? USC denied. Keen competition, kind of like in the Marine Corps when you don't get a promotion. Take keen competition, but we're still keeping our hopes up. She has been accepted to a couple great schools. So she already has 3 great choices to choose from. A couple scholarships, the big one being the NRTC scholarship. So we're just with the Marine option, of course, ERA. So we're still waiting. A lot of the colleges and the service academy say late March, early April. So I think it's coming down to the wire because then May is right around the corner. Graduation is right around the corner, ready to kick her out of the house, get her off the payroll. But exciting times for all of us here. We'll definitely, when she finally commits, she finally signs, we'll get her back on the channel and she can share her experience with all you. And that, again, bottom line, we kind of learned the hard way going through this process as well. That's why we shared it early on in the beginning, and we're going to share it once she commits. Exciting times. We shall see. And again, the channel. Appreciate you all. Love having you. It is Wednesday, hump day. Those of you that saw the community post, yes, that's me on that dolphin. In case you're wondering. Members, I haven't been looking at, I haven't been looking at the comments quite a bit, but still see a lot of green names up there. All right, that's Marine Corps green, of course. Stars mean they're members, how long they've been a member. Merch, still got merch. Again, the stickers. How can we get a picture of the big one on the back of my truck? That one's on the back of my truck, but bigger. I need to take this one off too. Right there, can you see it? Still have stickers, still have hoodies, t-shirts. What else? Lanyards. We got any lanyards yet? The lanyards, the green monsters. We got it. What's coming up? Any holidays coming up? Good gift ideas? What are we in, March?
Oh, did everyone receive their Friday freebie?
Oh, yeah. Did the members, did you receive their Friday freebie stickers from last month? Friday freebies. Members, the producer put out, reply to this Texas phone number and text this phone number and you get a free SFMF sticker. So if you got those, Doc said he hasn't received his yet.
Really?
It's been a while.
Yeah, remember we mailed them a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. We mailed them out a long while ago. JW didn't. Wow. Okay. I actually want to say something about it. Doc said he's got a bone to pick with you because he didn't receive his yet. I added that. I added that in there, but he didn't receive it yet. All right, I'm gonna go. My buddy never got his sticker.
The only thing
Huh?
I can think of is I use their address as the return address. But no,
Still,
why? It was at that post office that was closed. You think, huh?
yeah, it's interesting. Where do we take it?
That one, remember we went to that one post office we never been to before?
Yeah,
That was still a real post office, right?
yeah, it's a real post office. All right, we're gonna. What do we do?
So no, not that big a deal, but we made those other special stickers.
Yeah, there's a little extra in there. How do I get you? Randall wants to know how he gets us his mailing address. Doc says, let it slide if the producer steps in and says hi. Tell her, Doc.
We'll just send another one.
She just said, we'll just send another one. No, come on. Jared hasn't received my 30 nozzle with the ball barrel carbon fiber. It's in the mail, Jared. It's in the mail. Keep waiting. All right, get on it, producer. Raymond got his EGA in a week. You just sent a sticker. He sent a huge metal plate, blood, sweat, and tears he put into it. He got it in a week. Keenan, real quick question. Let's have it, buddy. Thanks, J-Dub. Got to go surfing in the morning. Stay salty. Get some URAH 44 surfing in the morning. Man, Lucky, make me jealous. URAH. Do we have an Instagram for Shopify? Is our Shopify on Instagram? Producer? Is our Shopify on Instagram? So we have Instagram. We need to make sure we put that. Can we put it on there, our Shopify on there and make it easier? Shadowclaw, first class PFT, Marine Corps PFT with the link tree, says Keenan.
If only we had children that could do those things for us.
Yeah, that's what this. So
Shout them out.
we need to add to the payroll our children, the ones that are off the payroll. We need to put them right back on, and that's when they can do all that high tech stuff. Annie Benani, let's hear it. Look at, she's on there. Tell her, get on it. Work all that stuff for this old guy.
Doesn't have an Instagram.
Who doesn't? Santa can never been to brag. Definitely need to do that, Keenan. Thanks for the idea. Camp Hansen. I lost my green membership name. What happened, USMC vet? Members. Andy Beneni wants to know what our plans are for this weekend. Military ball. Is that what you're getting at? You want us to talk about your military ball coming up? Military ball for the JROTC unit, Army JROTC unit, ERA. We're being accompanied by the battalion commander and a POC, Lance Corporal. What is the other CC? We will. We'll share that experience with you. I'm looking forward to that. Cool idea for the show. Sean Major shows a workout of the day, body weight, because not everyone has weights. Great idea, J-Dub. I briefly talk about working out, and that is part of it, but I wouldn't mind, sharing some more body weight workouts, because just because you don't have a gym doesn't mean you can't work out. That is a sore excuse. Yes, you can work out with your own body weight. Listen to J-Dub. She's right there. Knock it out. Double tap the screen before we land this helicopter. We're getting ready to land it real quick. What was Annie Benani? One more time. Put it back up there. Keep pushing forward. Stay united. And remember, the mission doesn't end. It's just a new chapter. Semper Fi, Doc. Yeah, absolutely 100%. Nuggets. That's a nugget right now. The mission continues always. Keep fighting. Be safe, but you know the deal. Be aggressive. We'll see y'all soon. The next live. Oh, Annie Benetti lost her membership. Do they expire? Yes, they expire after 30 days. You need to hit that subscribe or that membership button.
Let me use your scholarship.
Use your scholarship money for that. Pay for your own membership. You got gifted one, probably from Doc. Uh, yeah, technical stuff. I'm deficient as well, Jerry, because we're old school, right? We need these young bucks to get us up to speed. All right. Again, getting ready to land this helicopter. Appreciate y'all. Next live Sunday, 30 March Sunday. Might have a little surprise for you on that day. So be sure and tune in. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share this channel with your friends. Share the post too, if you wouldn't mind. That helps boost us up so we can push out to more people. We'll continue to grow this motivated community of warriors. God bless you all. John McJunkin, didn't see his crew again. Anyone that needs some prayers, you are all always in our prayers 100% of the time. God bless you all, and we'll see you on Sunday. Semper Fi, my friends. Era.